Hello, I'm Shona Ann Hill, the host of Conscious Living Global, a space where I share people and animals to help them to shine in a space of safety and truth. Today, I'm just going to share with you love in the time of Corona. Is it possible? I'm here with my partner, Mark, beautiful Mark, who walks alongside me in all my ventures. I'm always happy to have him with me. But it is a very new thing, actually, that we are here and able to do this together, because we ended up being together, actually, at the time lockdown was announced. So I ended up staying. Why go home when you're told you can't go anywhere and you're with the person you love? Okay. And this is where our serious relationship actually began to blossom.
10 weeks ago.
10 weeks ago, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very strange, I think, obviously, for both of us, in a relationship, admittedly, 9 months or so, finding out about each other and beginning to understand, and then literally, yes, is that okay? Are you happy to stay? And it's been a wonderful journey.
It certainly has. It's been a journey of discovery. Not that we weren't doing any of that before, but it's been even more so on a very deep level, because we've not been able to go anywhere. There's not really been anything else to really focus on except growing ourselves in the relationship and many aspects of love in this time and all time. But it's really being focused upon right now, because what do you love? It's not just about this relationship, which is wonderful, obviously, to blossom, but it's about what do you love? We are sat in the garden. I hope you can see us well, actually, because the lighting's not perfect, even though we do have lights to help. But we're out here because we love being outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
Don't we?
Yeah, we have a nice garden, and it's one thing that the good weather, despite all the other challenges out there, being able to just have a little area, you can listen to the birds, the breeze. There's just so many things which I think we've all taken far too much for granted in our busy schedules, and having this opportunity to enjoy what is there and actually has been there all the time, and we've just let it pass over us without appreciating it.
That's very true, and obviously you've been yourself been finding the ways to occupy your love of the outdoors, because you're a sportsman as a rule.
Yes,
and you
indeed.
spend your free time usually on a cricket pitch. Some,
yeah, which
so.
Yeah, it's challenging, but yeah, it does make you really appreciate so much more what you can have by way of enjoyment and pleasure that is just here. And as I say, we often, I think, over create things without taking the benefit of what nature has for us every day, if we just take that little bit of time out.
Yeah, absolutely. And as much as it has appeared to be a drag to some to not be able to play your sport or go out and about as much as you would like, it's given a space to really discover or rediscover, if you're in a long-term relationship, what brought you together in the first place. What is it that you love about each other? And also through that, you learn to accept and love yourself more too, through the challenges that you face in learning about each other. And there are many people who are out there wondering if their relationship will survive this time. Well, looking deeper at that aspect, relationships last where there is the ability to let go and discover more about yourself and the other person. There are always challenges because there are always slight differences, and it's those differences that help us to grow as people, not just in our own as ourselves, but as a couple. Learning to accept those differences or learning to grow into differences if you think it's something that is for you. And letting go of the blocks that exist between you. Because where there is conflict or triggering going on between people, it is something that is there just to show you how to be more of you, more of love in that sense. Because in your truth, you are love in a body. Peace, love, courage, and joy in a body. Joy being the purest form of love. So where you can let go of things to find your joy, you will always have love and you will always grow into a better place. Where there is rigidity and, oh, this has to be this way, or I don't like that, or whatever it is, you are not allowing for expansion and growth of A, yourself, or B, the other person, because they think they have to be something else to please you. And you're not allowing yourself to become more by holding on to those things and projecting those things out. When you consider in our truth, we are peace, love, courage, and joy. Anything outside of those things is just showing us what's taking us away from ourselves, away from our happiness, away from a deep, meaningful relationship that can be built to a really strong place during this time. So it's about recognizing what is of you. Because if you're triggered and, made angry or frustrated by something, it's not a comfortable feeling. It's not something that you would want to feel all the time. So why are you feeling that way? Is it actually to do with the other person, or are they actually reflecting or mirroring something about you that you can let go of to create more magic in your world? And this has been part of our journey as well. And during this time, there have been challenges too, but we've looked at them in this way and we've grown through them.
Yeah, I think, as Shona says, it is now clear that coming together, having spent time together and had some trips away and time together, that all of a sudden it's a huge quantum leap having that 24/7 and looking and really.
To excuse our little blip there, Zoom is overloaded at the moment. And we keep getting booted off. We've just been booted off. But Mark was just talking about, as you heard.
I think it's the coming together, and I think again, what is happening, what has happened internationally, will have created lots of scenarios for people, and not just ourselves. And I sincerely hope that they've been able to look at it and take on board the opportunity to have that time to seriously build and to turn what was a blossoming relationship, into something which is meaningful and lasting. And yes, you are a little bit in a melting pot because of the situation, and one might say, it's not real, but it has, in my view, considerably speeded up my already existing love of this wonderful young lady, to the extent that I can't now imagine anything different.
Very true. Very true.
She's great to look after.
He does credible food, by the way. He's a master chef, a singing chef waiting to bud out.
But yeah, it's things like that where I've always had a great love of food, and it's only within the last few years I've had the opportunity to develop. But cooking for someone who also enjoys good food is so much. I get so much pleasure from putting together different dishes and thinking of menus and thinking of, and for me that is it's just I just get so much pleasure from it. It's in one sense it's so simple, and yet we're not rushing around quite as much. There's a bit of time to reflect and think, and I think, yeah, right, okay, this is what I'm, whether I'll do a more traditional supper, or risottos, paellas, and or treat ourselves, just get something nice, some steak, or do some nice vegetarian dishes. It's just so nice to have the person you love and care for, and to be able to enjoy sharing. For me, there's not enough sharing and caring, that has just we've lost it, unfortunately. If we're honest, we've lost so much of that, and I think this period has really given everybody an opportunity, and yes, it is whether they are able to take advantage of that opportunity to say, right, this is what we can do, and this is what we're enjoying, and getting a huge amount of enjoyment just from taking the extra time and sharing the garden, sharing nature, sharing a lovely meal.
Yeah, and that as well brings another angle to love, because it's about expanding what you do love as well, outside of the relationship. Obviously Mark loves his food, and he's fabulous with food, creating magic with it. And my connection is with nature and with animals as well. And between us in this time, we've grown in both ways of that too. Mark loves cooking food types from all over the world, and it's, my taste buds are really loving it. Ooh, somebody loves their motorbike over there. And we've been going and seeing my pony Quentin every day, and sometimes I've seen my dog when my parents have allowed him to come and visit. So that's love of the motorbike.
that's loud, but he'll be gone in a moment. There he goes.
That's the joy of doing things outside. You never know what you're going to get happening around you, but also, we can hear the birds singing when you don't have that noise around next door. And each bird has its own frequency, and it's like sound healing to our system. So when we sit out in nature and we hear the wind rushing through the trees and we hear the birds singing, we're actually getting a deep healing through the sounds, which is also a vibration of love. All healing is a love vibration. So there are many ways to experience love in this time. It's possible everywhere. And, you know, even in the darkest scenarios, which unfortunately there are, we have heard about increases in abuse and violence and things like that. And as horrendous as they are, in order for that statistic to be known, the person has had to love themselves enough to want to change the situation. So even though it sounds incredibly negative, and it is on the one hand, because the person has been with it all the time, they've found the courage, which is one of our divine attributes within them, which is a vibration of love of self, to seek assistance to get out of that situation. So however you look at things right now, there is love to be found everywhere. And if you're furloughed or you know, pivoting to something new and different, it's giving you a space to really assess what floats your boat, what really empowers you, what you really love in life. Because if you're furloughed right now and your thoughts are, oh, I don't want to go back to the office. Well, did you love your job? If that's your thought pattern, it's not what you love. It's not you shining out. So what do you love to do? Usually, our hobbies are what we should be doing in life, because they bring out our joy, and joy attracts abundance to us. If our job makes us go, that's happening again, or whatever, it's not for us. And have you discovered that you have felt trapped in the 9 to 5 scenario, even if you are in shift work or different? It's still a scheduled time. Are you finding the freedom to find you and what you love to do, or embracing fun? Is furlough the best thing that ever happened to you, because you're getting paid to discover who you are instead of being trapped in an office being told when you can have lunch or whatever? That is love. That's about self-love, self-care. So you can grow in a relationship like this and acknowledge that the triggers that take place are because things are being reflected to you that need to be looked at to love you more, and empower yourself and your relationship that way to new places that you've never been before, and empower that. And isn't that better than expanding an argument? You know, finding friction and things that are wrong. Isn't it better to look at the things that you like and expand those? This is a time of discovery of what you love about you and how you can move forward in a loving space with the person you love to find that ultimate vision, dream, possibly something you used to think about that you've just put on the back burner, thinking that you're stuck in eternity and 9 to 5, fitting in into people's opinions and what they want you to do. No, no. This is a time to say no to that. If you choose to, of course. And from this moment forward, you can make it all about self-care, loving you, loving those around you, and bringing something that you love to do into fruition as your career path going forward. Is it possible to find love in the time of Corona? Yes. Love is in every turn if you choose to see it.
And once you recognize it and you embrace it, then believe you me, you will not look back.
Have fun loving you and all that's around you and each other.
Enjoy.
Bye for now.